Another major loss in the world of entertainment. Jazz musician Chuck Mangione has died. The Flugelhorn player and trumpeter had a series of hits in the 70s, including the song "Feels So Good." He was nominated for 14 Grammys, winning 2. Mangione also occasionally acted, including a recurring role as himself in the animated series King of the Hill. Chuck Mangione was 84.
On Tuesday, the music world bid farewell to one of its most beloved and iconic figures, Chuck Mangione. Best known for his timeless jazz pop crossover hit, Feels So Good, Mangione passed away peacefully in his sleep at the age of 84 in his hometown of Rochester, New York. Though the news comes with a heavy heart, his melodies continue to echo in concert halls, radios, television, and in the memories of fans across generations. With a career spanning over 5 decades, 30 albums, 2 Grammy Awards, and a legacy rooted deeply in both jazz innovation and mainstream accessibility, Chuck Mangione wasn't just a musician, he was a musical moment. A moment that stretched from the 1960s right into the hearts of 70s and 80s pop culture. His signature Flugelhorn sound, warm, bright, and smooth, defined not just his style, but an entire era of American jazz fusion. Humble beginnings in Rochester, New York. Charles Frank Mangione was born on November 29, 1940, in Rochester, New York. His love for music bloomed early, nurtured by jazz-loving parents who often hosted musical greats at their home. Names like Dizzy Gillespie, Art Blakey, and Carmen McRae weren't just legends to the Mangione family, they were dinner guests. That exposure planted the seeds for a lifelong journey into jazz. Initially drawn to the piano, Mangione found his true calling after watching the classic film Young Man with a Horn. It was then he decided the trumpet, and later the flugelhorn, would be his voice. And what a voice it became. In high school, Chuck formed his first jazz group with his brother Gap Mangione, a pianist in his own right. The duo, known as the Jazz Brothers, would go on to release 3 albums between 1960 and 1961, while Chuck was still a student at the Eastman School of Music, a prestigious institution he would later return to as a teacher and director of the Eastman Jazz Ensemble. From jazz brother to jazz messenger, Chuck's prodigious talent didn't go unnoticed. After graduating in 1963, he joined Art Blakey's legendary group the Jazz Messengers, a rite of passage for many jazz greats. Thanks to a recommendation from Dizzy Gillespie himself, Mangione got the call. At the time, Blakey's group also featured future jazz titans Keith Jarrett and Chick Corea. Reflecting on that pivotal time, Chuck recalled, "Art was looking around for a horn player and he called Dizzy. Dizzy said, 'Do you remember that kid from Rochester and why?' And he recommended me. That was a great time." His tenure with the Jazz Messengers solidified his status in the hardcore jazz world. But Chuck had other ambitions too. He wanted to reach more ears, touch more hearts, and blur the lines between jazz and popular music. The breakthrough, Feels So Good, and the pop crossover era. While jazz purists may have raised eyebrows at Chuck Mangione's shift toward a more accessible, melodic form of jazz in the mid-1970s, there's no denying the impact of that decision. His 1977 composition, Feels So Good, didn't just break genre boundaries, it smashed them. Released as a single in December 1977, the song topped Billboard's Adult Contemporary chart and reached number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 by the spring of 1978. The song became an instant classic, its bright, breezy tone capturing the optimism of a generation tired of disco saturation. Mangione himself credited the Bee Gees for his success, jokingly noting, "I think Feels So Good was such a hit because of the Bee Gees. Saturday Night Fever had saturated radio. Someone edited Feels So Good from 9 minutes down to 3, and it instantly became a favorite." Originally clocking in at 9 minutes and 42 seconds, the song had to undergo what Mangione called major surgery to be trimmed for radio. But the gamble paid off. The edited version gave listeners a taste of jazz, sweetened with pop sensibility, served with the emotional warmth only Chuck Mangione could offer. The album Feels So Good itself was a blockbuster, peaking at number 2 on the Billboard 200, kept from the top spot by the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack juggernaut. Olympic spotlight, and Grammy glory. By the late 1970s, Chuck Mangione was no longer just a jazz musician. He was a household name. His fame soared to new heights when he was commissioned to compose the theme for the 1980 Winter Olympics in Lake Placid, New York. The result, Give It All You Got, was another soaring instrumental filled with urgency and joy, echoing the spirit of the Olympic Games. He also achieved major recognition from the Recording Academy. Over the course of his career, he received 14 Grammy nominations, taking home 2 trophies: Best Instrumental Composition for Bellavia, 1976, and Best Pop Instrumental Performance for Children of Sanchez, 1979, which also earned him a Golden Globe nomination for Best Original Score. Pop culture icon Chuck Mangione in King of the Hill. Beyond the stage and studio, Chuck found an unexpected second wave of fame in the animated world of television. In King of the Hill, he was cast as himself, the official spokesperson for the fictional Megalo Mart. Sporting his trademark wide-brimmed hat and Flugelhorn, the animated Chuck would burst into scenes playing taps or transitioning directly into Feel So Good. It was quirky, humorous, and strangely heartfelt. Mangione recalled how it all started. 8 months before King of the Hill was on TV, I got the script. I figured, they're playing my music for millions, why not? So I recorded my lines from New York while they directed me from LA. The next thing I know, I'm seeing a cartoon version of myself on TV. Signature style and lasting legacy. Chuck Mangione was not just known for his music, his style was also instantly recognizable. That iconic hat, it started as a gift from friends in 1969 and became inseparable from his public image. In an interview, he quipped, "No, it's not glued to my head, no, I don't wear it in the shower, and no, I don't have gangrene from wearing it all the time." Over his lifetime, Mangione released albums under major labels like Mercury, A&M, and Columbia. In the late 1980s, he even launched his own label, Feel So Good Records, giving himself full creative freedom. He never truly stopped making music or making people smile. Conclusion: the melody never dies. Chuck Mangione's music wasn't just heard, it was felt. Whether through the soft embrace of a Flugelhorn solo or the cheerful tones of Feel So Good, he gave the world a sound that lifted spirits and eased hearts. He once said with a twinkle in his voice, "I do not mind having written the song at all. I just wish I'd written it in a different key. That high D is hard to play. But I'm glad I wrote something that brought joy to millions." And joy it did bring. To the jazz enthusiasts, the pop crowd, the Olympic audiences, and even the Saturday night TV watchers. As the final notes of his life fade into silence, his melodies remain eternal, a reminder that good music, like good memories, never dies. Thank you, Chuck Mangione, for making us all feel so good.